Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth and today we're here with these Spellbinders fresh picked buttercups. Aren't they just the cutest? I made this little template based off of the packaging and stuck it to the back of my magnet that holds all of these wonderful dies. I did cut each floral stem in a different color just for me to visually see what goes where, and then basically each die was its own color. So each leafery was one color, and then the petals, the 3 that were on this one are the one color, and then the 2 that were on their own are there. And then my little stamens, aren't they cute? Look at those, are hanging out right there. Now, this is the second time we're working on this. If you hung out with me during the live when these first released, oh, I had a lot of fun. We used some lunar paste to create these little guys, and I'm using the leftover sheet of lunar paste for this project. So that's where these shiny little bits come from. And if you want to see how I did that, you can hop on over in the link there and watch that live video in replay. Fast forward to the parts you need. But this is where we got those shiny bits. It's just some cookie dough lunar paste. Aren't they beautiful? Now, for everything, you need to cut it twice. If you're going to follow along with the video here, we're going to need each piece twice except these. Okay, so you're going to need 2 flowers, 2 leaves, 2 of each, again, except for these. Now, with my lunar paste, okay, because I need a backside, and we do our die cutting, right, and we stack it, but we want it to be seen on the other side, you just cut the reverse. So I put the die down. Let me get you a little piece of paper. So we have our die somewhere. So we cut it out normally, and that's where we get these beautiful shiny ones. Now we need the back side to match up, but we want the color, so we're going to flip our paper and cut the back side. And that's where these ones come in. We get the perfect die cutting there, and then the back side has our color. So if you're using patterned paper for your leafery and stuff, you'll need to do the same. So if your green sheets have a white backing, make sure to cut the reverse side so that you get green on the back side. Okay, and you'll see why that is important here in a momento. So all the pieces twice, and you can do 1 shade of green, 1 shade of purple. You can mix and match this however you like. I did pick a dark green and a light green that I thought went well together, and then a light purple and a dark purple that I thought went well together. Now for me, I did all the flower dies once in this and all of them again once in this, so that I get a light and a dark together. You could cut 2 darks and 2 lights depending on how you want your design to look. It's great fun about using colored papers and stuff. You can mix and match it any way you like. The next thing we need is an A2 size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of acetate and a top folding A2 size card base. And our first step, aside from doing all of our die cutting, is we're going to make our card base. We're going to do a fun kind of see-through one. So we're going to open our card base. I have these pre-made and on hand. If you don't have it pre-made and on hand, you can do a little bit differently, but this is how I'm going to do it. I've opened up my card. Make sure we can see the measurements. I've opened up my card, and the seam, the binding where we scored and fold, I'm putting that at 1 inch. So we're going to give it a little snip, and then we're going to have a 1 inch overhang, just like so. Now we need a piece to go behind and 2 pieces to go at the bottom, kind of like a little frame. So we're going to take the rest of our A2 card front here. Make sure I'm chopping on the right side. We're going to slide this under here and we're going to cut 1 inch 3 times. So there's 1. Get this in here. 2. And then our 3rd one. Now my 3rd one, I'm just going to do a teeny beeny hair less than 1 inch. Okay, just a teeny, not quite to the line, but almost. And this one I'm going to hang on to so I don't lose it. This one is going to be my top piece. And the reason I cut it just a teeny weeny bit less is because of that little folding gap. If I were to put that in there and fold it, you can see it kind of sticks out. So I'm going to actually cut a little bit more off of that just because I don't want it sticking out when I put this together. So we can do a couple of things, which one of them, you can eyeball and cut. Trying to find a pencil. You can eyeball and cut and do, oops, just fine. You know, because if it's a little short, that's better than being over. But I'm just going to put a little pencil mark right there so that I can see that. And then I can come to my little trimmer. Okay. Oops. Come on. Slide in there. And then we're just going to cut that right off. Look at that. Perfection. All right. So then we can throw that little sliver away and we can dry fit this. Make sure that, yep, it is not going to stick out in the front. If it sticks out in the back, that's no biggie. And then we have just a little scrap piece, which we can store in our bin. And then we can assemble our card base. Okay. So I'm going to do a piece of tape. Just one. Acetate doesn't need a whole lot to stick down. We're going to put our tape at the very end. Right here. Just so that the white flap doesn't pop up. And we're going to peel our little backing here. Okay, we're going to put our acetate on our card base. Okay, however it is easiest for you. I'm going to stick it right in there and close that up. My desk is all dusty. All of these little paper scraps or shavings, or whatever you want to call them, from doing all the cutting. Now the back side, we don't want to see this because when the recipient opens, we want it a little bit more professional looking, more thought after, and then that is why we're going to put this right in here, just like so. So we'll just need one piece of tape for this. Right down the center should suffice. Again, it just needs enough to hold it. And these double stick tapes these days, whew, they do some heavy sticking, let me tell you. And if you're off, like I am, we can just live with it, or we can peel it because we're picky. And it's acetate, so it should peel up. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again. Let's do a little bit better lining things up, Elizabeth. Just, nope. Don't drop it. There we go. Kind of wiggle it in there. There we go. Oh, that makes me much happier as I fling all my pieces around. Oh my goodness, this acetate is like catching everything. Uh-oh. Please hold. I dropped my little stem in there. this acetate is grabbing everything. Ah! Let's give it a little dust. Okay, so now it's kind of flippity floppity, but we have this little see-through area, our stage for our florals. And we're going to grab those other 1-inch strips, okay, and we're going to sandwich them at the bottom just like we did at the top. So we're going to have one on the top and one behind so that we don't see that tapey tape. Okay, I know this is so exciting watching somebody tape. But if you're following along, just know that this is the process. Now, my acetate seems to be hanging off a little bit, so I'm going to line my paper up with the paper below, because I can trim that acetate later. So I held it nice and tight. I put it down where it needed to be, and there we have that. Okay, and then here's our back side. Get some tape on that. Peel and stick. And we're going to grab that. And we're going to set this right on here. And I'm going to line it up this time with the paper that's already here. Kind of finagle that in there. And then I can trim this little piece of acetate or leave it. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It might be easier for the recipient to grab it. But yeah, definitely do what makes your heart happy. And then there's that. Look at that. Isn't that beautimous? Okay, so we're going to grab either the card we made last time, our packaging, or our little sample that we made. And we're going to use it as a guide, because the placement on this is perfect for an A2 size card. Absolutely perfect. And then we're going to see which die. So that die is this leafery right here. Okay. We're going to set that on there. Now I'm just going to kind of stage items, because I've done this a couple of times and I've mucked it up. I've mucked it up. So we want to make sure that we get these turned in here the proper way. So there's that one. Then there's this arch type one, which is going to come down here like so. And then there's this cute little bundle. Just going to come in here like so. And then we have our straight one like so. Now this is usually the one I have troubles with, and I think because this one actually needs to go up higher. This one goes back a little, and then this one that one needs to go more in the corner there. And then this guy, I think, just needs to turn a little. And there we have it. So there's our placement. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward for you guys, because this is going to take a little bit. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to glue all of these to the front. And then I'm going to get their counterpart and glue them to the back side to hide the glue. And then we'll come back and we'll put the flowers together, and then we'll finish up the card. So hang on while we do the zoomy zooms. For the glue, I'm using my favorite Bearly Arts liquid glue. And if you're using a good quality glue like art glitter glue, a PVC glue, you're gonna still need it to dry. So I actually use a weight on mine. It's just the stamping block. And yeah, just give it time to dry. Try not to move it around, and it will stick to the acetate beautifully. So we got the front and the backs of the leaferees done, and so we're just going to work on our flowers now. I did go ahead and put our little stamens together. Now for the stamens, I used the dark purple and then colored it with darker purple ink just so the centers were really dark. I just wanted them to stand out a bit. And then we can either follow this precisely, like this flower, I don't even know, goes like this, and then it goes like this. But you could put these little guys in there any way you want. There is a little nub here at the end to indicate where the big flowers go. And my positioning seems to be off a little bit again. I don't know what happens, you guys, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But it looks like I need to do these guys first. So we're just going to take these and plop them on there. Okay, and they fit so nicely. So we can just add a little bit of glue, put that on there, and line it up the best we can. Look at that. Aren't that, it just looks lovely. And this one probably goes here like so. And this is it, you guys. Our card is going to be see-through in the middle. I think that's just really neat. And then these guys will go on the back side. And we're just gonna try and get all of these guys put in here. I was gonna hang out with you, but I don't know. It's kind of tedious. Just plop these little cuties right where they belong. They line up very nicely. The dies are cut super well. So there's just, oops, I didn't stick that one down good enough, but that's okay. It just, I don't know. Spellbinders has some really good dies. And this one was just too cute to pass up. So I'm glad I got this one. I've been getting a lot of use out of it. Get that one in there. And then I'll go ahead and put a little bit of glue on 2 of those. Come on, get in there. Let me know in the comments if you like this design and if it's inspired you to do something similar or even copy. I mean, I don't mind. Just tag me in your posts. If you're on Instagram, you can tag me at Elizabeth Costa-Rogers. If you're on Facebook, you can post in my group, Chat with Sassy's Crafty Friends. I'd love to see what you make, especially if I inspired you. I think that's fun. And if you don't have colored paper like I do, you can ink up some paper and then die cut it. That just creates interest. Look at those. Aren't they pretty? Pretty fabulous. So we're going to put these guys on now. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here somewhere. This one and my little bitty one goes right there. And we're just gonna put some glue on there. Probably not that much glue, but yeah, there it is. Glue on that side. And it doesn't really matter how you put this together. You could even use them individually. Like when I was doing this, I thought, you know, it would be really cute to use this little guy. He's a little bit more straight, right? He doesn't curve as much. He's speaking of curving as much, we're going to put that one like so. And we're going to go ahead and leave that stick up. We don't have to glue it all the way down, so it gives a little bit of dimension going on in there. But you could use like this one and do like a little row of flowers. I think that would be cute. Put it like in a little field of grass or something. And it's just so cute. Very thoughtful to do, you know, that extra little bend so you can get that flower right up to the edge there. Oh, that one's glued down. We're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. And you can put them any way you like, which, you know, who doesn't love that? And then we're going to get that in there. Okay. So we're going to flip this over. And then we're going to take our back flowers. Now, just remember, on the back ones, okay, you want to be sure that you're gluing the good side down. Now, here's the thing. With the back side, you could do a little offset. Even with the greenery, you could do a little bit of an offset just so that dark shines through. But this is the back of the flower, and I thought it would be neat to have a darker back side. I don't know if you've seen any flowers that are kind of like that, right? Where they're like a two-tone flower. So the back of our flower is going to be dark. So when they open the card, it's going to be a little bit different. I think this one is this one. So we can actually put that any way we want, I think. Because we don't see the other side of it at all. Well, there's a little bitty nub sticking out right there. So we can just plop that one on there anyway we like. And then this one is like so. Just do a little test fit to see how you want it to go on. You could totally twist them and just put a little bit of glue so that the you know, they're layered a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense. You put just a little bit of glue in the center and then twist it, and then you would see the dark poking through. Lots of options, lots of options. I do believe that is that one right there. And so they're going to open this card up, and they're going to have this nice clean back to this, which I think is really nice. Just a little bit more thought out. And I'm using some Barely Art liquid glue. You can use whatever you like. They all work pretty good. I don't know about like Elmer's glue, how well it would stick to acetate, but your more expensive glues, they're definitely going to stick where you want them. So don't have to worry about that. Just got to worry about where to place these little guys. Oh, I like that we're going to get this little. And you could leave the back just plain Jane. I mean, we're going the extra mile here because it's super cute, right? Maybe we know somebody that's been extra sweet to us and they just need that extra thought into their card. You know, maybe you want to sell these. Okay. You ask for a little bit more money because you're using more product, more time, and the recipient or purchaser is going to really appreciate all of your effort. Just look at that. Oh, that's easy enough. I'm going to dab a little glue, dab and go, just like popping on some gems, which you could also do, right? This one's got my fingerprint in it. When I set the lunar paste, I went to test it to see if it was dry, which it was not. And yeah, so that one's got my fingerprint in it. And just remember, if you're using single-sided paper, you're going to cut the good side and the bad side. Otherwise, you're going to get a white piece, and we don't want white on all of our work. Although you could, that would be really interesting too. You could cut all of these pieces out of white, you know, save your colored cardstock, and then the inside would be white to white, like you cut it out, right? That would be kind of cool. That would be neat to revisit that idea. But again, we're doing extra. And just a couple more and we're all done, my friends. I hope you enjoyed and you were crafting along with me today. I do appreciate it. If you're new and this is your first time seeing me, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because I do a live every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then I have a special Saturday, second Saturday of the month, I go live with my friend Deborah, and we do 2 crafty girls. It's not exactly card making, but it's still fun to chat with everybody. And then, yeah, look at that. And because we've got these flowers now, look at how stiff that's made that. Oh, tell me that isn't just spectacular. Oh, I love that. And then here's the fun thing. If you write out your sentiment, they're going to be able to see some of that through there. I just think that's really cool. But, yeah, and I had fun. I hope you did too. I was hoping it would stand, but that's okay. I think it looks fabulous just like that. Look at that little shadow it's dropping right there. Isn't that beautiful? And then you have the shine from the acetate and the shine from our lunar paste. And it just... And of course, you could do this with a colored cardstock. So maybe this is in blue or something. Something really fun and elegant. And of course, if you don't want this to be your writing, you could address it on the back. You know, lots of options, but I like it. I like it. And there we have it. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Just make sure you have that bell on, because my pre-recorded, I don't have those on a schedule. They're not like my lives, but we'll keep them coming for you guys. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful crafty evening. Just look at, ooh, isn't that so fun? The same thing, right? Even in comparison to that, it's the same thing. Same layout. Just yummy, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.